So, good afternoon, people, and welcome back to the channel. We're going to be doing the beginning of a regular show I'm going to be doing from start of the season, and obviously we're doing it now. It's going to be a Premier League review show where I'm going to go through every single game in the Premier League, review of it, what I thought, especially the games that I did actually watch because as you obviously know, the 3 p.m. blackout games, I only saw the match of day highlights, so I can't really comment on the game too much. But we're going to go through from start to finish the opening weekend of the fixtures, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on what I thought of it and how each team I think will be doing it. And with regards to my predictions for the Premier League, I'm doing that at the end of the transfer window because, to be honest, right, what I've seen from some teams today compared to what I thought they would be before the start of the season, I think I might be changing my opinions on it. So we're going to start off with Burnley 0, Manchester City 3. Now this is a game where you think that they would be a bit of a banana skin for Man City. They got rid of Ilkay Gundogan, they got rid of Riyad Mahrez, and look, they had made themselves weaker in some aspects, but look, Man City's Man City. They're going to be up there again this season. I think they're going to walk the title, if I'm being honest. Obviously, more about the predictions in a later video at the end of the window, so the start of September. But look, I think Burnley they play some decent football in spells, but at the end of the day, I think Man City's quality just showed through, and Haaland already getting off to a good start, scoring 2 goals. The second goal, by the way, what a flipping finish! I mean, the guy's just an alien. Let's be honest. And it's going to be difficult to see who's going to be even near him for the Golden Boot. Obviously, Harry Kane's gone, so and Ivan Toney's banned, and they were the two main, I think, closest competitors. I think Mo Salah was there or thereabouts, but it'll be difficult to actually catch up to him. So look, that was the opening match in the Premier League. Also in that game, it's been just announced now that Kevin De Bruyne will be out for at least 4 months. As we saw, he did have to get hooked that game, and yeah, it's not really a good sign for Man City fans that one of their main players is going to be out for that while. So we've got to see how they cope, or maybe they'll go to the market and try to get someone else. But moving on, we're going to go to my team, Arsenal. Arsenal 2, Nottingham Forest 1. This game, I think, was a poor performance. Now, look, I think before the goal that we scored, they should have gone 1-0 up Nottingham Forest. I think that if that was any other half decent, if that was any, because I don't think Brennan Johnson's actually a striker, so I think if that was any other top player or someone that can even finish their dinner, Nottingham Forest go 1-0 up is a whole different game. I think with regards to Arsenal, it was just 2 bits of brilliance from Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli. We get on to the first goal. The little spin that Martinelli did, a roulette as you'd probably call it, and the way that Eddie Nketiah dropped his shoulder, that is what you call, that Gabriel Martinelli is what you call a Brazilian footballer. Like, no, he wasn't great the whole game, I think, but at the end of the day, that one moment of brilliance was the thing that was part of us actually winning the game. And then Eddie Nketiah done well to drop a shoulder and just get it past Matt Turner, our ex-goalkeeper. Now for the second goal, Bukayo Saka, he had a sighter before us, but before that, a goal, but he chose to pass instead. I was like, mate, and then the way he just went like, mate, forget this, I'm going to slap it top bins, and he did that very well. And apart from that, there weren't many other chances. You're thinking at half time, it's 2-0. Just go and see the game out, go score a third, score a fourth, score a fifth, but typical Arsenal fashion, we made it difficult for ourselves, and the Anthony Elanga, the ex-Man United player, left Bukayo Saka for dead, and I'm not going to try to say his name, but their top goal scorer last season, making it 2-1. If that game went on for a bit longer, they may have made it 2-2 because we were on the ropes, and you could see how much Arteta was bricking it when he had to bring on Gabriel Magalhaes, who I don't know why he didn't start. To be honest, I think that whole lineup was a joke, and if we're going to get anything out of Crystal Palace on next Monday night, we got to make sure we actually be stable at the back and solid in midfield. Now we're going to move on to. We'll probably quick fire through the 3 p.m. kickoffs and the late Saturday night kickoff. Bournemouth 1, West Ham 1. I only saw the match of the day highlights, but Jared Bowen scored an absolute pelter. That what a goal that was by him. And look, I think these games I didn't see much. Everton versus Fulham ended Everton 0, Fulham 1. Yeah, it's going to be a tough season for Sean Dyche, and a decent start for Fulham. Bern Leno made an absolute worldie of saves in that game to keep Everton in it. Fulham in it. And look, that Bern Leno, he is a good shot stopper, but it's just other parts of his game where he make a mistake. And I think for one moment in that game as well, he did drop the ball and they scored a goal, but it was ruled out because there was a foul on the goalkeeper, which I don't think it was really a foul, to be honest. But anyway, Sheffield United 0, Crystal Palace 1. Crystal Palace being pretty dominant in that game. I don't think Sheffield United really gave a real threat in that game. I think Palace could have easily had about 3 or 4 goals, what I saw in the highlights, but I think Sheffield United are one of my favourites to go down this season. I just don't see what they're going to bring to everyone. I think the season they first came up, I think it was the 2019-20 season. I think they did do okay in Chris Wilder's first season, but yeah, they fell off a cliff before that. But that's it for that game. Brighton 4, newcomers Luton 1. Now, I think I think Brighton went 2-0 up. You're thinking when Luton scored that goal, that penalty, you're thinking, oh, okay, can they come back? But no. Look, I think Luton are my favourite to go down as well this season. I think I watched a little bit of them in the Championship, but I'm debating whether they got enough, because I don't think they got enough goal scorers in their team. I know they got Carlton Morris, Adebayo, some set piece goals in their centre backs they can get, but just the obvious mistakes in that game that they were making for Brighton's goals. Look, you can't do that at this level in the Premier League. You maybe could get away with it in the Championship, but the Premier League's ruthless, and if you mess up anything, and you'll get punished massively. I'm going to move on to what was a bit of a shock for me. Newcastle 5, Aston Villa 1. Now, I didn't watch the full all this game because I was out doing other stuff, but Sandro Tonali, mate, I mean, that guy, I know people were saying, oh, he didn't want to be there. He looks upset when he was forced out of AC Milan, but the way that guy just controls the game, along with Bruno Guimaraes, like, I know he scored his first goal to make it 1-0. Moussa Diaby made it 1-1, good finish. I think he should have scored another goal as well in the second half. Well, might have been the first half, I can't actually remember. But then Alexander Isak just doing what he does and doing what he was doing at the back end of last season. Yeah, I think Newcastle will be a problem this season. I think they won't be as good as they were last season because they've got Champions League to sort of balance between themselves. But at the end of the day, I think that that'll be the problem again this season, and the added quality of Harvey Barnes as well. What a finish for his goal, and look, I think him and Tonali, that's some decent squad depth now, and I think that will help him quite a bit. Right, we'll move on to Sunday's games. Brentford 2, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Now, look, it's Ange Postecoglou's first game in charge. James Maddison, I don't get how no one else is actually going for him. And we saw the first goal, swung in a free kick, right on the money. Then Romero scored. He had to get taken off because there was some new rule about the concussion protocols. I don't know what that means, but that was a good header by Romero. Then Brentford get back into it. Heung-min Son gives away a penalty. I don't think it really was a penalty, to be fair. I think it was just unlucky. And then Brentford go ahead. Emerson Royal gets absolutely ripped. So yeah, Emerson Royal getting ripped, and then they're not scoring. But then obviously he repays he replays his mistakes of the Spurs fans because they're easily pleased, aren't they? And then get a draw, and then I think Brentford should have had a penalty at the end when the goalkeeper came just rushing out of their goal. And speaking of goalkeepers rushing out, Emi Martin has done the same thing, and I think he should have got sent off. Playing good football, but still horrible defensively. And that's going to be their story throughout the whole season. They're going to keep scoring loads of goals, but conceding a lot of goals as well, because their defence just ain't good enough. Now move on to Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1. Now I think Liverpool started well, went 1-0 up, and then they scored that first touch from Salah was class, and that cross was very good. And then Chelsea get a goal back. I can't remember the guy's name, the centre back that made his debut. I think he was poor defensively, but got his goal, made it 1-1. They thought they took the lead through Ben Chilwell to make it 2-1, but that was ruled out. And then it's just two teams that have just bang average in midfield, I can't lie. I think Enzo for Chelsea was class, but regardless of Liverpool, they needed number 6 badly. I know they can't get Caicedo now and they can't get Lavia because Chelsea nixed both of them. They got hijacked and then hijacked again, which was pretty funny to actually see. But yeah, they need to get a number 6 in, because whilst I like McAllister, I think Soboslai's decent. I think he was alright the other night. But the way they just get ploughed through the midfield, and the team, we'll get to the team next, I need a good midfield as well, because they can't be going through the whole season like that and have a chance of winning anything. Now, the last game of the weekend, Manchester United 1, Wolves 0. Now, the scoreline doesn't reflect the game at all. I think the midfield of Mount, Bruno, and what's the guy's name? Casemiro. I forget his name. I felt sorry for Casemiro because he was the only one that actually, getting stuck into the midfield, and you could see the number. I think it's Mateus Cunha. I think his name is Cunha. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the amount of times he was darting through their midfield, and no one was tracking him at all. Look, if Wolves were clinical, that would have been about 3 or 4-0 comfortably. I think Man United got lucky with that. Breaking news: Chelsea activate Chelsea activate the release clause of Crystal Palace forward Michael Olise. So yeah, that's nice. But we're on to Man United obviously now. Yeah, Man United got to fix up. Look, Mount and Bruno in the midfield do not work at all. And look, I get people rate Bruno because of his GA and scores a lot of goals and all that. But at the same time, he's not a good midfielder. He lost the ball about 26 times. I saw a stat. So yeah, if they got any chance of finishing in a title race, yeah, good luck. Unless they get Amrabat in, of course, but I don't see it happening. Right, that is it for the Premier League games this weekend. It wasn't the most exciting weekend, I must say, but look, we'll see. There is the the Super Cup final on Wednesday night between Man City and Sevilla. So I made a preview on that. And that's it. I'm going to leave it here. So make sure you guys like, share, all that good stuff, and I will see you lot in a bit.